Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com, mana traders, as well as Twitch subscriptions and Patreon supporters, just like yourself. I am Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Power Dragon.
Hey, today y'all might get my sexy voice because y'all wore me out in Vegas, so we'll see what voice follows up with me today.
And Ruben, who needs to scoot to the right a little bit, Ruben Bressler.
Hold on, I need to scoot to my right.
Yes.
There you go. Hi, everybody. I don't have a sexy voice. I have a voice that's really good for like selling toys, but not so much for cologne. Wow. I know my lane where it is. I don't have the, I'm not trying. I am going to sell you a good mid-size car, not a luxury sedan.
That's fair.
If you missed our pre-show, patrons and subs to this channel get access to all that stuff early, where we cheer to chat about non-magic topics and video games and all sorts of crazy stuff, movies and YouTube channels. And with that, we can get off with our first pick in our giveaway. Get your chance of $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffInc.com. I'd have an ! Raffle in the chat, but subscribe first with them dangling props, with them Septembers. All right.
Oh, it is still September. 2
chances to win. Support your favorite streamer with your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. That is thanks to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every single freaking day. And so this past weekend was Vegas. Was all things Vegas. Was the big show. Supposedly the biggest. This should be the biggest show of the year. From what all I can tell, it was pretty well attended. It was, I think, as I understand it, and Power Dragon, you were there. But they were separated into like 2 levels. Is that correct? In terms of
they had 2 very large halls that you would go take the escalator upstairs, and you had basically a 2-floor event. So the lower floor was all a chunk. I can't even say all, but a chunk of the commander tables, some vendors, registration, and something else over the other side that I didn't see very much. And then you had your arena set up, the ambassadors section, all that stuff. And like Ultimate Guard had something where they were doing multi-language streaming of the world championships and stuff. We're all in kind of one area down there. Then if you went upstairs, it was another chunk of vendors, the big stage where they had feature matches, the like cosplay contests, all that stuff was up there. And then they had the merchandise booth, and like 50 artists, I believe, were there. It was the largest collection of Magic artists probably ever. I can't imagine there's anything else that has more than that. So yeah, it was a lot going on all at one time. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and in terms of sort of how it went, as I understand it, they had vendors on both the different floors, right? And one vendor was like behind the stage or something, I heard. Did you see this?
No,
I did not see that. But I guess they could have been.
I was talking to somebody,
like a vendor speakeasy.
Like someone stumbled into them, like going to the bathroom, and they were just like, "Wait, what are you doing back here?" Type thing. And so that was unfortunate. But overall, it seemed to go very well, and people were very excited. The coverage was nice. Was great. One of the things that did happen over the course of the weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up.
Oh yeah, pharmacist judge was saying it was a food vendor. Like it's possible because the upper floor had like a Papa John's and a Johnny Rockets. And then downstairs there was the company that always has like the different root beers and stuff.
Yeah.
They were down there, and they had some crazy magic mugs you could get. Yeah. Like some cool event specific ones, which were awesome.
Oh, very cool. Event specific.
Yeah. They had 3 different levels of them you could get for rarity, I guess. And they were all awesome. And then you could get, once you paid for them, because they were all pricey, but you can bring them to any future event, and they just charge you $7 for all-day refills.
I considered seeing if anybody who was driving from LA wanted to borrow my root beer mug for the event, just because I have one.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So one of the things that they did talk about and mention, and this is an incredible video you can go watch from Brian David Marshall, where he had basically the last interview with Sheldon Menery, and they debuted at the end of that video that Sheldon was already in the works to have his own secret layer produced, proceeds going to cancer charities, or the cancer charity of his choice. And so they did unveil the silver quill artwork of Sheldon, which I have on the screen. It looks absolutely amazing. If you don't know, he did work on those commander decks for Strixhaven, and specifically the silver quill deck, and like Ink Shield was like his thing. That was his big spell that came out of it that people like. And of course he does as well.
And no lie, that is a very accurate depiction of him in the art.
Oh
sure.
yeah,
almost
Donato,
creepily accurate.
yeah, Donato is pretty good at what they do. They're pretty excellent illustrators, and so they made it work. And I obviously, I mean, this is incredible. I love it. I knew Sheldon for a very long time. This is wonderful, and you know, just I was, you know, this is one of those things where I was hoping, but like to actually see it happen and to watch it unfurl, you know, and to see him, you know, forever going to be enshrined as a Magic card is just fantastic, and I literally cannot wait to buy it.
Oh, and I also don't know if you mentioned this, but they did say that all the sales are going to go to cancer research.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, just a big wins all around for that, which was great. They had a cosplay contest, y'all. Listen. I'm a man, okay, who has had serious problems when Magic the Gathering entered its esports phase, and they decided to have trophies that looked weird. And Magic is not alone in this. You should see the last Counter-Strike 2 major trophy.
Dude, there's so many events that have awful. I don't even know why.
Like you know, like toothpaste on something. It looks horrible. Anyway, this is not that time. This is, if the trophies had been this good from the start, I would have been nothing but a cheerleader for all of those trophies. Mother of God, have you seen the Sword of Fire and Ice?
Dude,
this is the best Magic
and it lights
trophy.
up.
Yeah. This is the best Magic trophy I've ever seen.
This is the greatest Magic trophy of all time. Now, a cup obviously is classic and good and great, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. But if they're going to be this good, then it's worth it, right? It's just, this is incredible. It's not just a Planeswalker symbol with a bunch of crap around it. No, man, this is like from the card.
Yeah,
took it out.
Like if you're gonna win like a Star Wars TCG tournament, getting a lightsaber would be dope. If you're gonna win, like when they did the Kaijudo Championship, it wasn't just a cup; it was like a representation of something from within the lore of the game. The Sword of Fire and Ice trophy is something to be followed and continue forward. And this is for the cosplay contest, but it's the best Magic the Gathering trophy for any event I've ever seen.
And we have like what, 10 or 12 swords now, so we could just rotate through them and just make all the other ones too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got 10 swords, so I'm fine for the next 10 MagicCons giving their own sword to each cosplay contest winner, or maybe for 10 years when we have the one in Vegas. It's the big cosplay contest.
Yeah.
This is incredible, and I had marked somewhere who had made it. There's a company out there who makes these really cool trophies. They do stuff for, you know, League of Legends as well, and stuff like Zelda shields and Zelda swords and stuff.
You could get a Jite.
This was
Jite might be a little bit not flashy enough. There's probably a sword out there that isn't one of the sword of blank and blank that we could get. Sort of the Animist. There we go. There's an 11th one. Yeah. So we've got some swords.
There's just all kinds of stuff. And again, I don't even think it has to be just a sword. It could be some sort of, you know, iconic object or whatever, or iconic artifact or something.
Yep.
There's a whole variety of ways.
Chain veil.
Yeah, yeah.
A mana vault.
Mana vault. Awesome.
There you go. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's
Soul Ring trophy.
Honestly. Oh, that would be good too. Yeah.
Soul Ring trophy would be nice.
Yep. Elspeth's sword would be cool. So yeah, a bunch of really cool options, but this is just, this is one of those things that you know it wasn't cheap, but damn, it is worth every penny, because you can't not highlight this if you're talking about the event and the cosplay contest. It's just
absolutely
amazing.
Yeah, and that was for, I believe, the winner of the previous winners, whatever they called that, like
best in show.
Yeah, no, the winners. They had winners from each of the different MagicCons, I believe.
Oh,
and then that was the winner of those people.
Cool.
Because
so sort of like their own invitational tournament.
Yeah, and I think they got, my understanding is they got some type of advance info, so they came all with like, as I guess, detectives or something of from the future planes or whatever we're going to do for the next year or something like that.
Amazing.
So, yeah, they had a very different look than everybody else. It was very cool.
Yes, they it was a place called Volpin Props, VOLPIN Props. They're on Twitter, and they noted that we made this, and I'm like, dude, y'all make the most incredible stuff. It's fantastic. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Creative Kitty Studios for winning Best in Show, which I think is awesome. Let's see if I can get this up here as well, because they did a fantastic job.
And there were a ton of entries in the cosplay contest. Like it's up online on Wizards YouTube page. You can go to youtube.com/magic, I think. But totally worth watching. Like just the skill some people, but like the person on screen right now, like I think she said 80 hours and made every piece of chainmail herself. Like
like the detail, there are more detailed photographs of this cosplay. You can't zoom in far enough to start seeing like non-detail. Like there isn't anything, missing from some of these folks. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you're talking to these people that like they've taught themselves to sew, like like it's crazy what some like, which is what you get when they're giving real money, right? Like I mean,
right.
You just get any of the recognized awards, it's $1,500. You get best in show, I think that's $4,000, and I think the second place is like 2,500 or something. Mm-hmm. So like there is real money at stake for these people putting in this time now.
And congratulations to Magic Mish Amigo for taking that Sword of Fire and Ice trophy. It's on your screen right now if you're able to watch us here, and that's just fantastic. Again, I just was blown away by that trophy. I've never
not gonna lie, I'm almost mad. I'm never gonna own one of those swords.
Maybe next time, maybe next year.
I'm not gonna teach myself to sew. That's not gonna be my future. But the fact that that's level of skill and artistry exists within our community is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna move on here out of the first pick to gather the townsfolk. That is thanks to our sponsor, Mana Traders. The best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MAGICMICS at checkout for 12% off your next subscription with Mana Traders. Tell them we sent you. They're great. We appreciate them sponsoring the show. And we wanted to go over a little bit of also what was unveiled in Vegas. Now, one of the things that they did was they showed off the scene cards from the Lord of the Rings holiday version, both the scene sets where you get all those 6 cards and the collector packs, which will also have those cards plus treatments in them, along with like additional treatments that kind of boggle my mind because they're so like, do you really want to make a 60s like, crazy looking poster that has like 100 words on it? Because it didn't seem to work very well. Have you seen these cards?
Which one?
Yeah, like I saw it was like a set of 3. It was almost like a weird secret layer variant that I guess you could get in a booster pack or something.
Those were weird.
Saruman of Many Colors. The new one was really rough.
My problem is like it just seems so unnecessary, right? Like it doesn't really fit the flavor of Lord of the Rings. It doesn't fit the timing of anything. So I'm just like, why is this the choice? Because I actually liked a lot of the other stuff they showed,
right?
But those particularly just don't make sense for me. And like you're saying, because they have a lot of actual game text, it's also awkward to read.
Right. So I found them, and here they are. Here's the Aragorn, the Saruman of Many Colors, Mount Doom, Arwen. I can't remember what the rest of those words are. Gandalf the White. I mean, just what is happening? When it was Wrath of God with 2 sentences, amazing. It looked really cool. When it's Saruman or Gandalf, what are you doing? I don't understand. It seems difficult to read.
Yeah, the cleanest one of those is probably the Aragorn.
Probably, right? At least it goes into some up-down fashion versus just
exactly
through a dress, around the side, like...
And to be clear, I don't hate the art style that they're doing. I get like what you're going for,
cool.
And it captures that feel, and that's going to appeal to some players, which is great. But functionally, if somebody has this across the table and I need to like know what it does so I can maybe do something or not, it's going to take a moment to figure out what it says.
Seriously, I mean, it's weird. I get it. I understand they wanted to use a certain style, but that just blew my mind. Anyway, so that was the whole thing. And they also talked a little bit about Lost Caverns of Ixalan, which is coming right after Doctor Who. And they finally showed a bunch of cool stuff about the races on to Chamil, which is the center of Ixalan itself, which is, it's about the inside the hollow earth, which is super cool. They did get to show off a few cards. They showed Watley, Poet of Unity, who now doesn't have her spark anymore, but she flips over into a saga, which for her and her lore and where she came from and her story is that was really nicely done.
Saga as a whole is just awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I will leave y'all at home to check out Watley, Poet of Unity, because as usual, there's 400 words on it.
The front side is a 3/3 for 3 Civic Wayfinder, so it's already bigger. It's a 3/3 for 3 on a card that was a 2/3. Sorry, 2/3, not a 3/3. Right. 2/3 for 3, but Civic Wayfinder is a 2/2 that was a playable Magic card. So this will see. I can't imagine this won't see play.
Yeah.
So the fact that it has a whole flip side is just gravy.
Yeah, and you can flip it for 5 mana, and it's kind of Naya colors, and that's cool. Saheeli, the Sun's Brilliance, is that going to be our one Planeswalker? I don't know. Did she lose her spark? I can't even remember.
I think that Kellen, so we've got Kellen Quintorius and Saheeli as characters showing up. Quintorius had a spark for about 45 seconds. Kellen...
Quintorius is the Planeswalker.
Is Quintorius the Planeswalker? Oh, good. They finally give him a card. Because I thought he was going to get a card in Dominaria and then didn't get one.
But, look at these lands. Those
lands look great.
This is the type of stuff that I am really excited to see, because they're just leaning further and further into the culture, further into making them unique and interesting and kind of one of a kind to Ixalan and the Ixalan world. And I'm blown away.
Yeah, I absolutely love these lands. I saw these and was like, well, these are the first lands I've seen in a couple of years where I'm like, I could see redoing all of the lands in my decks.
Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, they are evocative, but just the style as a whole just look good on the table.
Yeah. They look nice. And just the way they make the mana symbols, with little the fleur-de-lis type outlining, it's just amazing. And they showed off a few creatures which were neat. Good old Breaches gets his own legendary.
Great card. 3/3 for 3 that it has first strike and does a thing the turn you play it usually.
Whenever a pirate you control attacks, which includes itself as the Goblin Pirate, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So if you attack with 3 pirates, you get all 3 of these. Create a treasure token. Target creature can't block this turn, or exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. So that's good and straightforward. That's
real good.
That's a fine Magic card. There's a really cool Oger Axonil, which flips over into a land, which is really
a god that flips into a land that can flip back into itself.
Yeah. Let me say on this card, I do not understand. Like the more I read it, I was like, why does this have more words?
Right.
Like it's a 4-mana 4/4 with trample. And like you read the first section, you're like, okay, this seems reasonable. You finish the paragraph, you're like, this is really good. Like, oh wait, there's more text.
And when it dies, you can just get it back.
Exactly. Then it turns to another thing that has a good ability, and I can just have my 4/4 again. Like, what is this card?
Yeah. The 4/4 that turns
transform. Oh Jesus!
Yeah. The 4/4 says that whenever you deal damage, you instead deal 4 damage or something like that.
I mean, non-combat damage is up to his power, whatever it is.
Right.
So that's cool. And then, so if he dies, you return him transformed as Temple of Power, the land that taps out of red. For red and 2 generic mana, tap : you transform it, so you turn him back into the god. You activate only if red sources you control dealt 4 or more non-combat damage this turn, and only as a sorcery. So might take a little bit to get him back over, but at the same time, once you play him, your shocks deal 4 to the face, and that's good.
People are going to die to a 4 damage play with fire.
Now the card I got to talk about is for Timmy's like
bruh.
For Timmy's Timmy spikes just like me, wants stupid over-the-top crap that's going to win a game. And let me tell you, Galta's Stampede Tyrant is going to win. This card is going to be worth $1 million. Listen.
Okay. Let me tell you, I didn't look at any previews. I was busy most of the time. So I'm like, all right, I'll check them out when I get back home. I have my laptop. No big deal. I literally read the words on this card, and then I immediately reread it. Because I was like, this isn't right, is it?
I was a 12-year-old reading this card.
And it's not even a cast trigger.
Right.
It's into the battlefield.
I'm like, what's up with this card?
So Galta's Stampede Tyrant is 3 green, 5 generic mana. So it's 8 mana for a 12/12 trample, a legendary mythic elder dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. That's it. Just a beautiful, lovely, powerful line of text. You're like, Jesus, any from your hand straight onto the what? And you don't have to sacrifice them or exile them or do anything weird with them. They just happen. Like, this card is insane.
Now, I understand. You can reanimate this and put it into play. You can get it from a fight rigging. You can do, there's a billion ways to trick this card into play and get its ETB trick. Not only that, you could play this, get a Tali, and then you get 2 bonus cards on top of it.
This is one of the only cards I can imagine when you're in a game of Commander and they Cyclonic Rift everything and you go, okay, cool, thanks.
Exactly.
I'll re-trigger my Crater Hoof and my
Yeah.
Atali.
Just
Thanks.
throw everything down. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. My God, that card's going to be nuts. So that to me is very exciting. They also have decided to put Cavern of Souls back into standard.
And well, first of all, yes, they put it into standard,
Yes.
which I mean, counterspells didn't need to be worse, but okay. Like we got some creature fixing, which is nice. Some color fixing for creature decks. And specifically now that we're going to be playing dinosaurs and pirates again, giving us Cavern of Souls makes sense.
Dinosaur, pirates, vampires, like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. And they're doing this weird thing where they're all in like different neon ink treatments.
Right. They're doing the Higetsugu treatment to these.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure they'll be more rare, the different type of ink they use and all that good stuff.
That's right.
So there's treasure trove box toppers and special guests, which is kind of weird.
Sure.
The box toppers are like commandery-ish cards.
Yeah.
They're almost like they're sort of like a bonus sheet, but they're just box toppers. It's kind of similar to what Lord of the Rings did, where they had box toppers of a whole variety of really cool cards. Lord of Atlantis is here, but not coming to standard, right?
Sure. They don't print cards like Lord of Atlantis in standard anymore because
because it has Island Walk.
It has Island Walk. It says all merfolk, not all merfolk you control. They don't print cards like this in standard, so
unfortunately.
But I'm okay giving it to us in the bonus sheet. Same with coercive.
Sweet art too on that one.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, and here comes Mana Crypt.
Sure.
Because
why not?
Because look, these cards, these packs need to sell. And this is $1 billion brand, and
you think about how sweet that's going to be, right? Like you get a box of Ixalan, and you get a Mana Crypt off the top. Like even if the price drops, you still paid for probably 80% of your box already off one card.
Oh, are they doing the color treatment to the Mana Crypts too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, then how do you acquire these?
They're going to be in collector boosters in some form or fashion. Gotcha. It's probably going to be a very small percentage.
Wow.
Yeah,
and they'll explain that later.
The rarest color of Mana Crypt is going to be $1,000.
Like $10,000.
Oh, it's going to be very, very expensive because Higetsugu was cool and cute and very rare, but it wasn't super playable. This is Mana Crypt. This can go into basically any commander deck.
Not gonna lie, I kind of want that green Mana Crypt. This is kind of hot.
Oh, it's very, very.
You can get a Mana Crypt that matches your monocolored commander.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Oh, that'd be so sick. But pour one out for the stores of the world who have to go through and is this a so and so color?
Sure.
The yellow one. The yellow one kind of looks like the red and the yellow one. You know what I'm saying? Like these first two kind of look the same. 7 more versions or whatever. Yeah. But do know we're not done because the Jurassic World stuff shows up in here. They said
this was like a gimme. I sort of felt like this was coming. I think we knew.
Look, I generally don't like to read super long cards on the show because of obvious reasons. But my boy Glenn Jones designed this right before he left to go for second dinner and work on Marvel Snap. The man made Welcome to ... the saga. Yep. And let's just note here, it's 2 green of generic mana for a rare enchantment saga. Turn 1 or first step for each opponent up to 1 target non-creature artifact they control becomes a 0/4 wall artifact creature with defender for as long as you control the saga. Amazing. Second step, you make a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample that gains haste. Third step, you destroy all walls, exile this saga, return it to the battlefield, transform under your control. And what does Welcome to ... transform into?
Yeah, of course.
Jurassic Park.
Of course.
Which is a legendary land. It gives each dinosaur card in your graveyard escape. They escape from Jurassic Park. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Could anyone 10 years ago, 15 years ago be like, they're going to make a Jurassic Park where all the dinosaurs can escape when you... Oh my God. So the escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. What's that red enchantment that does that? The one you can play stuff in your graveyard, but you got to pay for the cards.
Underworld Breach.
Underworld Breach, thank you. And it taps to add 1 green for each dinosaur you control. So it's like a weird
Gaia's
cradle for dinosaurs. But it gives the dinosaurs escape, y'all.
Yeah,
I just can't handle it.
So this is not a standard legal card.
This is not a standard legal card.
Okay, just checking.
This is the eternal, commandery cards where they're legal, etc.
Yeah,
also,
cool card.
I'm going to give a little tip to all of our listeners right now. pick up all the rare dinosaurs that are available right
Sure.
now. They are
Mhm.
all going to be worth significantly more than they are today. I promise you.
It's true. It is true. But they have an E.M. Malcolm card. They have an Indominus, Rex card, which is cool.
Awesome.
There's supposed to be, I think, 36 of those cards in the set, which is
Wow.
going to be awesome. And I can't get over how cool and interesting that was just from the very get-go. The first thing you saw was the Welcome To card, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that was brilliant. Congratulations to all those who were involved in that project. Let's turn back here to a little bit of Ravnica Remastered. Because Ravnica Remastered, it's showing up January 12th. It's going to happen. And surprise, surprise, and by that I mean not super surprised, they are printing all of the Shocklands with the old border, which is super rad. I'll take it. They're making anime versions of cards. Anime Massacre Girl is pretty hot fire. And of course, favorites like Birds of Paradise show back up, which is great. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there is a bit of some of our lore friendly friends did not like that Tomic, Distinguished Advocate, is marked as an Azorius card.
Marked as Azorius. Yeah, that was weird.
He's in the Orzhov.
Yeah, I think Tomic is Orzhov, but works in the offices of the Azorius. It's weird in Ravnica because everyone kind of like works in the same building. Mm-hmm. In any case, I think that he is not Azorius, and that is a little weird. But
it's a little weird. Or no, it's a lot. He's not Orzhov. But
no, he's not Azorius. He's got the Azorius watermark.
Oh, you're we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Either way, so the Shocklands are there. No one's surprised. Some old border stuff is there. Cool old border Massacre Girls and old border Birds of Paradises. Old border Niv Mizzet looks amazing.
Like, let me say something. Like, why do we need old border Birds of Paradise? Like, yeah, that's already a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird that I'm like.
My unpopular opinion is that the gold cards look bad. I don't like the old gold.
Yeah, I don't either.
Y'all get out of my podcast. Are y'all crazy?
The red, blue, green, like those all look great.
Bruh.
I don't need gold, old bordered Aurelia.
I will not have such blasphemy in
the lands look spectacular
in our entertainment program.
I'm okay with old. I get that other people like them and it's cool they exist, but like I could give or take, to be honest.
I mean,
the anime
stuff
versions though look spectacular.
Like the Birds of Paradise anime looks insane. Like Tomic looks fantastic. This stuff is really hot fire. Extended art, collector boosters. We're gonna have borderless versions of all 10 Shocklands. So kind of again, it's a little bit with Infinity, where they have the space versions, and these are just extended art versions, which again, very very pretty.
By the way, the full art Birds of Paradise might be the prettiest Birds of Paradise to date. Yeah. Like, that thing was crazy.
It's really great. It's just a question of, honestly, we've been down the remaster road a little bit. This is a little bit closer to what I would describe as sort of modern remasters. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Fair. And I don't mean modern, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know
recent time remasters of like, we've kind of reprinted the Shocklands quite a bit the past couple of years. And again,
we're still thirsty for them.
And we talked about Doubling Season and Smothering Tithe. And I mean, if I was a betting man, I would bet they're both in here. And they were just on the bonus sheet, and they were just in Commander Masters. And how many times can we go to the money well before the money's not there in the well anymore?
I mean, you can ask Tarmogoyf how many times we can go to the money well before the money's not there anymore. We went to the money well with Tarmogoyf like 15 times.
Yeah. About 4 times. Let's not go too crazy, but yes.
The other thing that got Tarmogoyf, though, is like the deck he's in just disappeared.
That too.
The Fatal Push was printed. That was the problem.
Yeah, people aren't going to stop playing like Doubling Season. That's always going to be a thing. Yeah.
So I hate to focus too much on Secret Lair stuff, because Secret Lairs, a lot of people don't have the greatest opinion of them, but you got to call it out when they do something kind of amazing. And the Spookydrop for next month is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Like, the hits on this super drop are just as hard hitting as the individual John Avon Secret Lair that we spoke about. Secret Lair times Creep Show. You flip them over into like the Creep Show explanation, the comic book explanation of the card. which is kind of incredible. Not
Very good.
necessarily my thing, but again, you're hitting a theme. You're hitting the theme.
The pulp comic version of the card. It's really good.
It's actually really, really impressive. And I was
but
like,
I also like
cool.
that it's well timed. It's going to come out in October, so it fits the whole like Halloween thing. Like, and this is conversely the cards we were talking about earlier on the show. The text is all reads the way it should. You have your power and toughness at the bottom. Like, you can tell clearly what the card does, but you still keep the flavor of the promotion you're trying to do.
Exactly. And the stuff is still on the card in a way that makes sense from top to bottom for all of them, you know?
Yeah.
So that to me is kind of the way you want to do it. But again, that was amazing. And I was scrolling, I was like, what? Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Did anybody see this coming?
No.
I don't think I saw it coming. I felt like it was a possibility, but I didn't know if we'd get there with a reason to do it.
Oh man. Now
real good.
The one thing, it's they don't have their own custom cards for all the Evil Dead stuff, you know, and pure Steel Paladin is a little strange for, you know, Ash or whatever. But it's fine. I thought all of these cards were super cool. I just love Evil Dead stuff on Magic cards. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's awesome.
Super.
And seeing this for me falls squarely into like, I get that other people are going to be excited about it, and I'll just applaud that y'all get to have the nice thing from a distance.
Yeah.
You know, as a guy who like watched Evil Dead 2, bought a bunch of special editions of Evil Dead 2, have watched commentary about it, have watched Army of Darkness way too many times. Yeah, this is my jam, and I am absolutely all here for it. So that's super cool. The Doctor Who Weeping Angels, people were like, the angels don't fly, and I'm like, really? Is that where we're at?
Yeah,
is that where we're at?
All right.
There's like two non-flying.
There's no way for them to know that
in the game, right? Because you're blinking and they're moving. So I don't have an issue with that. I think it's a little silly to be hung up on that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Point is, this is cool for the Doctor Who fans. Yes, I love it. The Dalek lands are kind of neat.
The Dalek lands are really nice.
Yeah, those
the concealed courtyard in particular looks spectacular. I think they all look great.
I think they look great. Yeah, they look sweet.
The one I'm most excited for is the next one.
My God, Secret Lair times the Princess Bride. Oh my God, I'm blown away. This was like, I was already in just by the name, but when you see the Battle of Wits, actual Battle of Wits card, when you actually get to have these cards, like, you know, like have a Vizzini card and have silence as the spell to where, you know, Vizic, I think it's a Vizic, right?
Vizic, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, or Fezzik rather, sorry, Fezzik.
Fezzik, yeah.
Is amazing. Inigo, of course, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. You can't not have, I mean, it's just beautiful stuff. I love it. You know, you could argue they could have been better cards, but whatever.
No, this is one of the best like card to character groupings I've seen. I mean, I guess you could have improved on, like, I don't know, Wesley and Buttercup, maybe.
Like, Wesley isn't a pirate, even though he's the Dread Pirate Roberts, right? His creature type isn't, but like, whatever.
Could have done that one better. But Silence, Battle of Wits, Rodents of Unusual Size being Pack Rat
was very nice.
I mean, those are spectacular. You know, I like Inigo. The fact that we get a Miracle Max card blows my mind. Like, I just love everything about this.
Also, this is a 9-card Secret Lair.
It's true. Yeah. Charging just the same.
Easy slam dunk if you're looking for one to buy, people.
I mean, the value for the money, you know, a $30 non-foil version getting you all 9 of these cards. It's not going to pay off in some way or another, whether you're going to love it because of the film or you're going to love it because of the value or the collectability, and who knows what the secret like bonus card's going to be for this one.
Yeah. So let me think what the bonus card would be here.
Probably something about the wedding, right? Something about with them
getting
could be
married, like it could be wedding announcement.
Could be wedding announcement.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Be a good one.
It could be wedding ring. Could be something to do with Prince Humperdinck.
Wedding ring would be a huge.
Prince Humperdinck card.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Prince Humperdinck. And of course, we spoke about the John Avon thing from last week, which is again another gigantic slam dunk. If you want to make sure you get a return on investment.
Man, he also had a large, like almost poster sized print of the Sarah Angel he was selling there as well at the show, which was
wow,
crazy. Like was super tempted. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I passed it a couple of times and was like, maybe I hope somebody buys this so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely terrific. Yeah, still a fantastic set. The Pixel Lands, honestly, very much feel like a footnote on this one. I don't necessarily even think they really needed it. Like, it's fine, but like
it gets outshone. People love those original Pixel Lands.
Yeah, people love the originals. I didn't care for them, but people were super excited about the originals. So I expect these will do well too.
Yeah, I mean, I dig pixel stuff. Yeah. But like, man, with such incredible heavy hitters, and then these meditations on nature, I mean,
also look good.
They look fantastic. They just feel like they're going to get completely blown out of the water by the rest of the stuff in the drop. Like,
that's fine though. Sometimes even if you have a team full of all-stars, one of you has to not get the most attention.
You need some role players. You need some bodies to just hit some bunts and get you on base. You know.
And I think that there's stuff, and the big thing that we talked about was there was a lot of stuff in this super drop that is like, this is cool, ... for the people who really want it. And that was the thing about this super drop in particular that struck me, was all of the things here. There wasn't a try to get everybody. There was a very concerted effort to specifically get subculture fandoms. Because, like, I'm not going to get the Dalek lands. I'm probably not going to get the Evil Dead stuff. I might get the Princess Bride stuff, but that's a very niche market as well. So, but that's kind of across the board what we had with this super drop. I think they're finally hitting their stride content wise on the Secret Lair stuff.
I will say, interestingly, this is probably the first time in a while that you can look through and say, you know what? Maybe this is one of the few Secret Lairs it's almost worth just buying the bundle.
Yeah.
Because usually there's like at least 3 or 4 you don't want at all.
Right.
But like, these are all actually kind of solid.
These are all
like, except like
bad.
The basics are a little pricey. Obviously, you know, that's always going to be a sticking point.
Right.
But if you're even interested in either set of the basics, then you might as well just get the discount and get the whole thing. You're still going to be saving money.
Right. And even, you know, on top of it, there is a bonus card in all of these packs that are going to be worth something. And sometimes, you know, you can get a really good $20, $30+ bonus card out there.
Sometimes you can get a couple $100 bonus card.
Right. With the petitioners or whatever. Some weird
some people are still getting those, what were they, like the architect artifacts or something or whatever, that like those things are still showing up in some. Somebody got. Yeah, those are still around. So
so again, just it's been wild and a little bit more rare to see like such big hits, like one after another, and this drop was really sweet. Big congratulations to Kenji Igashira, also known as NumotTheDaddy. They got a new baby. Him and his wife Emily had a new baby. They've been at home for a few days. They show here in the tweet. And kids rule. Kids are fun. They are the greatest thing that you will ever do. And see, genetics took away this, and then all my children gave me this. Gave me the white beard. That's where the white beard comes from. I love them.
That's fair.
Well,
but it'll worry you right into Santa Claus.
That's just what they classify as the cost of doing business.
I would pay it again. No problems there. Very proud of my children. So. We're going to move on here. We spoke a little bit about the Sheldon Menery video from Brian David Marshall. If you haven't seen it, please give it a look. It's called My Magic Life with Sheldon Menery.
Well worth a watch.
Incredible.
To go check out. Debuted in Vegas and well worth an hour of your time to watch that video.
Yeah. You know? And take Sheldon's words of being, be kind and be present and, be aware and, be in the moment and, recognize that no one is going to remember your turn 3, like explosion combo win. No one's going to like it. No one's going to remember it. No one's going to fondly call back to it. They're just gonna be like, oh, crap, well, whatever. Let's go, try to have fun over here and do a real game.
Yeah. Let's just get into another game and make that a past memory.
Exactly. So we're moving on here into Desperate Ravens. So Wizards, they've been trying to revitalize standard play. This came off a little weird for me a little bit. Because I'm of both worlds. One, I don't like the fact that standard sucks right now on paper. Like no one's playing paper standard. This is like no one like extended for a while until they literally got rid of it. But they're not going to get rid of standard. They need standard to thrive. And so some of these moves are good and solid. They're going to change. They're going to have a weekly standard play program held at WP and game stores. Again, I think this should have been Friday Night Magic. I think they should have leaned back into F&M and gotten everybody kind of back around again. Special promos and other prizes for players who participate. A special oversized card for retailers who successfully complete a number of designated events, which is fine. It's something, and they're certainly.
But I will
not
say
cheap.
this: there is a good chance that a lot of retailers are just going to make this their F&M thing.
Sure, and high five. I hope it works out. I mean, again, even for Cool Stuff and Cool Stuff game stores, it's a thing where it's like it's a little risky, honestly, because people might just not show up because they don't have a standard deck, they don't have standard cards. Even if they extended the rotation, that doesn't mean everyone has $100 shoulders. Like, they don't fall from the sky. They're going to shift the store championships to standard constructed, which is, I think, a good thing. The $75,000 standard open in Chicago, that's going to be their new one of their Chicago MagicCons. It's going to be the first large open field standard tournament in a while. It's been many, many years now at this point. Pro Tour Outlaws at Thunder Junction will be standard, which is cool as well.
Hold on, I just have to the name Outlaws at Thunder Junction is the best, and it makes me happy every time I see it and hear it. And the fact that we're coming up on a time in our lives where we'll be like, hey, what are you guys planning on playing in Thunder Junction Standard is going to make me so happy. Now, it's so silly. And it's magic how Richard Garfield intended is what it is.
Yeah. So Arju in the chat, they're already ahead of me. And this is something I've already said many times now, which is you have to give me an on-ramp that is not just events. You have to give me decks I can buy that will get my standard collection going. I will literally give you the 2 Jade Light Rangers. Make a pre-con, put 2 Shouldreds in it, and I know, make me buy 2 of them to get 4 Shouldreds. That's okay with me. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
That's a bridge I'm happy to, a concession I'm happy to give them. Because if you don't let me buy a deck, I swear to God, you're never going to get my butt in a seat at a local game store. You're just not. I'm not going to go out and want to buy 75 cards I don't have right now. Or if I do, I want to buy it in a very special box where I can open it and take off the plastic and put them in sleeves like I used to for some of the old really awesome challenge decks. And let's get back to that. I know that it's difficult, and I know it might hurt a little tiny bit of the bottom line, but are you trying to get people back playing standard, or aren't you? That's what it feels like. So that to me is the last step. And maybe they're working on it and they just can't say anything yet. Maybe they're trying to time it the right way. I don't know. But this is not going to magically fix the problem, at least not yet. It's a good step. It's good changes.
No,
but I don't think it's enough.
But I get the idea of it, because I wouldn't expect to have everything fixed in a year anyway. Sure. I was assuming at least 24 months. And part of that is, like all things, you have to create habits. Right. And I think that's the idea of hey, let's get people going back to their local store. Maybe they're playing weekly now. All right. They see 2-3 major events that we're talking about online where there's some big prizes. The local PTQs are going to probably end up being standard. So people are going to need a standard deck for at least 3 months or whatever to qualify.
Sure.
So now you start making it more of a habit. Okay, well, now I buy this deck. I can at least go to the MagicCon and use it. Okay. Then I can use it for the next 2 months at PTQs or whatever. All right, now I'm getting some use for this, I don't know, $200-300 I spent or whatever it ends up being, right? So this makes a little sense. But again, I think we're going to have to do this for the better part of a year before people really get back into the habit of things.
Yep, that's the thing. And something came across, into a different story here, something came across the wire where it just rang so true, and it was so obvious that it's something that I can't help wondering why Wizards has not asked this question, which is, why does our secret lair packaging look like crap? When you're trying, you see, for example, you see back there, you see those secret lairs I bought there above my head? That looks terrible. That is black and white printing. This is a company that makes fantasy art. What?
Honestly, I'm okay with it. 100%. Because most people aren't saving it, they're opening it and they're putting the cards in decks and stuff. I see too many people playing with them that That's just wasted packing material.
No,
it really is.
They can keep the same shape and size, but take a look at this, because I think this was the important part. Was so when you look at these two products, they're about the same. This is one is a Pokemon product, and one is showing off the Magic Secret Lairs.
Right.
You know, one is that people want to display and keep sealed, and the other is a white box. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, the white box. Didn't we at one point not have the white box?
We did have nicer ones. They came in like the thicker black boxes with the special print, and people complained about they were taking too much space.
Well, they were taking too much space.
Material.
But what we're saying is, or what not we, I don't care. But the people who are writing this are saying is there is a gap between too much packaging, too much fluff, and box that says the word cards on it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
This is
like there's a space in there.
No, I get what y'all are saying. I just think at the end of the day, I don't care, and it ultimately doesn't matter.
I get it, but listen to me, because I am in the world, you know, I'm in the industry of collectability products.
Right.
Wizards is in the industry of collectability products. Your Wizards, you can do this so much better. You are literally dropping the ball right now. People want to showcase and show off these things that they have bought. You really can't even do that now.
And Evan, among people, Power Dragon, has them sealed on his shelf. Like you're saying, people don't do that. Evan has them right there. And I don't, you know, he's not the only one.
Oh, I'm sure there's some. I'm not saying nobody. Right, I mean, I'm not ignorant. But
you don't give them any reason to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a choice that whether I want to show them off because they have artwork and they're cool and they have neat packaging, that's great.
Yeah.
But there's no choice. It's just, you know, it's just buying the box of cereal and it's just black, you know, it's white with cereal on the front. You know, it's like, yeah, it's cereal and it's fine, but it's nothing interesting or cool about it.
I was about to actually say what Martin just said in chat, actually. From the vault actually came with fancy boxes inside the white sleeve. Mine are still in the white sleeve sitting in a box in the closet.
Right.
But that fits both audiences.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. It's just like there's way more people, but I get it. Like if it's not a major cost, go ahead and put some artwork on it. Right?
I'm just saying that like it is a cost, you know, it is going to be a thing.
On so much splat art though.
Right. But like it could literally just be some of the artworks in the secret layer, just, you know, splattered on there in the background. You know, whatever. I'm just saying, when you look at it side by side, you go like, man, there is a crazy contrast as to why I want to show off this product versus I don't want to show off the other product. And that to me was the like, damn, I've never seen it kind of put that way before, you know? When you see a bunch of secret layers together like that, like even behind me, I've only got a small amount. That's a ton right there. Like,
yeah, but I'm looking at this poster, it's like, this isn't about understanding collectability. This is more about just understanding display.
A little bit, but it relates to collectability.
Collectability
is
still the same, right? It's all about what's inside and whatever. Like that's people are going to buy it or not, but display does make a difference there.
Right. I just think that, you know, part of the experience of buying these things is not only buying them for the variety of reasons of collectability and you're going to get money later or whatever. I think there's some amount of, I want to show off the stuff that I like and I put money in. These are cool. And you can only get them a certain amount of time and they're just white box, black, you know, packaging. Guys, you've been at it like what, 3 years now for secret layers? Wizards need to up the game, y'all. Y'all can do a little bit better at showcasing these on a physical product level, I think. And that to me was what this showcased the best. Okay.
That was as close to a red zone as we've gotten in a long time.
Real close. Speaking of, there is a little bit of splash damage this week that I think is worth noting, because I put the press release together, which is CoolStuffInc is phasing out of board games and role-playing games. And in fact, if you're near Florida and or one of the Cool Stuff game stores and listening to this right now in September 2023, you should totally go to them because they got some amazing games at stupid prices right now, as we're, you know, just kind of, you know, moving through all the inventory.
Wow.
And so it's one of those things where basically you had 3 giant figures, 2 of them the main one, 2 of them being Amazon and Kickstarter, and the last one being Target to some degree, because Target went in and did a whole bunch of exclusivity deals that they still do to this day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, this is just business or whatever, but you know, basically the giant 800-pound gorilla showed up and would undercut every single price, no matter what it was. Sure. Then the pandemic hit and just slammed everybody in the face. And it's just better as a company at this point to showcase and focus on things like Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Lorcana.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, we'll say a little inside baseball is also like Asmodee kind of came in and kind of messed up the market a little bit too as a company, the way they all dealt with retailers and stuff being consolidated. Now you have to carry certain things to get the discounts on these other games, and like it just became a little bit of a mess. I mean, if you have a big board game store, you still got to do it and you got to play the game, but it does suck by comparison.
And what you would have happen, again, this is more kind of inside baseball, but what you could have happen is that Amazon would do whatever the hell they wanted. It doesn't matter if Amazon broke the policies of so-and-so, it's Amazon. And you can't call up Jeff Bezos and be like, what are you doing to my products? You know, where you can to do that to different stores and things. Anyway, so that was a thing. It's happening. Take advantage of the deals while you can get them. And cool stuff ain't going nowhere. It's just a thing that we're changing and doing.
That makes me a little bit sad, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But I see it from a business perspective. So hopefully the world shifts in a direction where that won't be the case anymore, as was noted in the chat. But I completely understand why Cool Stuff is doing it, and I don't foresee a future in which Target and Amazon go, oops, we didn't want to do that. So, you know, all we can do is move forward, move on.
You know, and I think when you look at it and you read and you see like the Kickstarter stuff where you can get really nice, really special edition versions with super cool exclusives and yada yada, and that's definitely appeals to board gamers who absolutely love who are in the cult of the new and they want all the new shiny stuff. And by the time it gets to retail, it doesn't have anything exclusive or anything shiny or anything special or anything painted and all this other crap. So, you know, again, that combined with the market forces just makes things change. So let's move on here to the finisher. Now, Counter-Strike 2 is here, y'all. I'm so excited that we finally have the sequel to the greatest first-person shooter of all time, and it's not close, by the way. Don't at me. It's not. So tell me, if one thing in your life could have a brand new second edition, what would you pick, Ruben?
I have never played Counter-Strike in my life.
I'm sorry.
I've played... What was the one that had Nazi zombies? I think that was Battlefield.
There's a few
Battlefield
of those,
had Nazi
like Battlefield Zombies version or something.
Was that Duke Nukem?
No. And I also played a bunch of Halo.
Call
of Duty. Yeah, I played that one. Anyway, among properties without sequels that I'm shocked haven't made sequels, Who Framed Roger Rabbit has been blissfully immune from Hollywood attempting to sully its history. But if they did get one, I would love to see Eddie Valiant's children team up with Roger again to fight a new type of villain in Who AI Generated Roger Rabbit.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Well, you know, I actually disagree with Evan because I think the best first-person shooter of all time is actually GoldenEye, which I've probably played 1 billion hours on. But I think GoldenEye 2 would be pretty sweet, and it'd probably be the best way to show off who's going to be the next Bond.
Nice. Let's go. Now, not everyone gets a good sequel, and Magic is not immune. But with that said, I'd love to see them take a second shot at Ogrotha, because sometimes you can go home lands again. That's right. You can do it.
We had a discussion in the pre-show about whether we should go back to homelands or not.
We should. I swear to God, we should. I think it'd be amazing. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Hey, good to be here. Don't forget, leave us reviews, leave comments, and thanks to everybody who came and said hi at Vegas.
Thank you, Ruben.
Hey, thanks for showing up, everybody. We'll see you next week, probably for Baldur's Gate, although we've got some top 10s on the horizon.
Yep, they're
of
coming.
Various kinds. And then, of course, we'll be live next week as well.
Absolutely. We move on here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, Mana Traders, my co-host, Power Dragon, and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening. I hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next week. Same time, same place for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.